This lesson is on equations of lines. Here are our learning targets. First example is to write the equation of a line that has a slope of 1/3 and a y-intercept of 5. So we want to write it in y equals mx plus b. So this is our m, and this is our b. So go ahead and substitute that in. So y equals 1/3 x plus 5. Example 2. Write the equation that has the slope of -1/2. That's our m. But now we don't have the b. So we're going to go ahead and identify this as a point, x and y. So y equals mx plus b. So our goal is to find out what is that y-intercept. So we're going to substitute the point and the slope into the equation. So the y is 3, the slope is -1/2, the x is -4, and we're going to find out what is that y-intercept. So we're going to go ahead and multiply -1/2 and -4, and that is 2. And then we're going to subtract 2 from both sides, and we get 1. So the y-intercept is 1. So now to write the equation in y equals mx plus b, we just substitute the -1/2 and the 1 into that equation. So here's the answer. Y equals -1/2 plus 1. All right. Example 3. Now we're giving you 2 points, and we don't know the slope and we do not know the y-intercept. So step 1 is we need to find the slope. So we're going to use our slope formula. So we're going to find the change of y over the change of x. So 6 minus 3 over 2 minus -1. Simplify it. 3 divided by 3, which is 1. So now we know the slope. Step 2 is we're going to find the y-intercept. So we're going to use y equals mx plus b. So here's our slope. We're going to choose one of the points. So I'm going to choose that first point, x and y, this one right here. So I'm going to substitute the y in, which is 3. The slope we found as 1. The x, -1. And we find b. So 1 times -1 is -1. Add 1 to both sides. And we get b as 4. So that's telling us the y-intercept is 4. So then step 3 is to write the equation in slope-intercept form. So the slope is 1 and the y-intercept is 4. Example 4. For the graph of the function, find the average rate of change between x equaling -2 to 5. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to go ahead and graph this function. This is the parent function of a parabola. So there is our function. And I'm going to find the ordered pair when x is -2. So here's -2 over here. This is -2, comma 4. And then when x is 5, we get 25. Now the average rate of change represents the slope. So we want to find the slope between those 2 points. So essentially, we just find the change of y over the change of x between those 2 ordered pairs. So 25 minus 4 over 5 minus -2, which is 21 over 7, which is 3. Write the equation of a line that has an x-intercept of 6 and a y-intercept of -4. So we already know this guy right here, the y-intercept is -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's our y-intercept at -4. And then our x-intercept, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's 6 right here. This is 6. And this is -4 right there. And then the line looks like that. And we need to find that slope. So one way we can do is we can do the change of y over the change of x, or we can count up 4, so plus 4, right 6. So the slope of this line, the change of y over the change of x, up 4, right 6, or 2/3. So this equation is, in slope-intercept form, a positive 2/3 x minus 4. Example 6. The amount spent on a magazine advertising was $15.5 billion in 2009. So that's where it started. And it's expected to decrease at a rate of 0.65 billion per year for the next 5 years. And then we have some variables. We're going to let x be the number of years and y be the amount spent in dollars. It says write an equation for the amount of magazine advertising spent as a function for the number of years after 2009. So y equals mx plus b. So the m is the continuous rate of change. The b is your starting point, your initial value, your y-intercept. So to write our equation, it is a decrease, so we have to go a negative slope, 0.65 x, and then plus 15.5, and then billion, dollars. Now in part B says use the function to determine the amount that you'll spend after 2015. So we start this function at 2009, which means x is 0. Now we're going to go into the future, 2015. So how many years have gone by? So what's x? How many years is that? So what we do is we say 2015. I erase that here. 2015. So how many years have gone by that? You just take 2015 minus 2009, and that equals 6. So we have 6 years that have gone by. So we're going to let x equals 6 in that function. And what we get for an answer is 11.6. So what is as an answer? It's $11.6 billion will be spent on advertising in the year 2015. Example 7, write the equation of a line that is parallel to this equation and passes through this point. So what we do first is we need to find out what this equation's slope is. So we're going to go ahead and convert this to slope-intercept form. So we're going to move that 2x to the right side. And then we're going to divide both sides by 3. Simplify it. And what we want is this number right here, its slope. The slope of that line is -2/3. Now we're going to come up with a brand new equation. And we want that new equation to run parallel. So for you to have a parallel line, it's going to have the same slope. So a new line is going to be parallel, is going to be the same. So it's going to have a slope of -2/3. And it's going to run through this point, x and y. And we need to find out what is that y-intercept. So we're going to use y equals mx plus b again. Well, we know the m, we sub it in. So the y is -9. The m is -2/3. The x is 5. We find out what is b. So we multiply -2/3 times 5, and we get -10/3. Then we're going to add -10/3 to the left side. And we get b to be -5 2/3. So our equation is y equals -2/3 x minus 5 2/3. So that's the equation of the new line that runs parallel to the green line. Now, example 8 is very similar because we already worked with this green one in example 7, and we identified the slope already. It had a slope of -2/3. And now we want to come up with a line that's perpendicular. So for a line to be perpendicular, its slope will be opposite and flipped. So its slope will be a positive instead of a negative, and then 3/2. And now we're going to use that same point, x and y, to find the y-intercept. We need to find out what's the y-intercept. So y equals mx plus b. We're going to go ahead and sub it in. So the y is -9, the m is 3/2, the x is 5, and we find out what is the b. So we multiply 3/2 times 5, which is 15/2. And then we subtract 15/2 from both sides. And we get b to be -16.5. So the equation for this line that runs perpendicular to the green one is y equals -2/3 x minus 16.5. All right, example 9, write an equation of a vertical line that passes through the point 9, 3. So we're going to go right 9 and up 3. So there's the point, and we want a vertical line. So we're going to go vertical. And what is that equation? That equation is x equals 9. And that ordered pair is 9, 3. And remember, its slope will be undefined. Write an equation of a horizontal line that passes through the point -3, 5. So we're going to go left 3 and up 5. We're going to create a horizontal line. So that would be the equation y equals 5 its slope will be 0.